bouncing times. It's time to set our intentions, set our self-care, and find our focus. This is Mindful Mondays with Saharah Ali on KBLA Talk 1580.
It is time to check in with our friend, astrologer, numerologist, yoga teacher, and I should say mental health is what I was thinking of, but really she's a life coach. And a specialist in the sound bath technology. Saharah Ali, good morning.
Good morning, Dominique, and good morning, KBLA family. Welcome to Mindful Monday, where we get our minds right for the week by setting positive intentions to honor our mind and body through meditation, prayer, and affirmation as we step unapologetically into our week, being on purpose with faith, truth, wisdom, and power. Today, I'd like to unpack the celestial influence of our second new moon in August called the Black Moon. All new moons are a time to set new intentions, focusing on our goals, creating a clean slate, and giving us an opportunity to step into our power as agents for change. This Black Moon only happens every 29 months. It amplifies deep healing, cleansing, rebirth, and focus. It's a great time for all of us to release the old and mindfully create something new to enhance our genetic emotional makeup, aligning our hearts and mind to the wisdom of our soul. I'm going to say that again. It's like this energy gives us an opportunity to enhance the wisdom, the genetic emotional makeup, to align our hearts to the truth and wisdom of our soul. The gift of this rare celestial influence connects us to our ancestral power. The love and the life force energy of our ancestors, it's open, it's always there, but it's deeper under this celestial influence. It's deepening spiritual guidance. It's moving us forward to receive our blessings. It's open for healing and rebirth, and most of all, transformation. It's aiding us to move into our hearts, to nurture ourselves, to honor ourselves, and to find fulfillment. And it's real important as we witnessed everyone picking up their power and not backing down. It's emboldening faith to step outside the box, to yield pride, to trust in the gift of who we are as a people, benefiting by thinking about what we want, not what we don't want, and taking the trash out. The upside is staying the path of compassion to reap the fruit of our labor and to go forward mindfully. In our Mindful Monday meditation, let's willingly, unapologetically reframe all judgment here and now. Yes, going forward in our Mindful Monday meditation, let's willingly, unapologetically reframe all judgments and be here now. Be here now with me and open yourself to the gift of this celestial influence of this new moon. Inhale, centering yourself, grounding yourself, being here in this moment, letting go, open to the gifts of your ancestors, opening to the gifts of your soul. Exhale, ready to embrace divine inspiration, listening to your inner wisdom, listening to that truth that's in your heart. Inhale, with purpose, opening your mind to the authentic wisdom that already exists in you, emboldening your faith, allowing you to stand in pride, honoring yourself. Exhale, Give yourself permission to stand gracefully in your power with self-respect and compassion. Just breathe, relax. I know I just dove us into this, but it's very necessary to just be in this moment, releasing all things. Now inhale, calling your angels, calling on your ancestors, calling on that light to elevate your spirit here and now. Get quiet with me. Get quiet to receive insight. Exhale, make a promise to be unapologetically progressive in your wholeness and honoring self-love. Okay. Inhale, knowing the energy of this black moon supports us in achieving the heights of our soul's potential. It's the place where our consciousness and our soul meets the truth of our heart. Just breathe. Breathe that in and just relax. Calm yourself. Be here now with me. Exhaling, grounding yourself. Inhale, aligning yourself to your truth right here, right now. Exhale, remembering prayers from the heart can achieve what nothing else in the world can do. So align with your prayers. Just inhale, exhale, be still, trusting your breath, trusting the relaxation. Now inhale, taking the biggest breath you've had all morning. Hold this breath, breathing in power and light. And as you exhale, allow yourself to release what's no longer serving you. Let go and open yourself to receive our Mindful Monday affirmation for the week. Inhale, center, ground yourself. Exhale, and just listen. Today, I open myself to divine inspiration, embracing truth, accepting my life is God's life. Today, I open myself to divine inspiration, embracing truth, accepting my life is God's life. And as we journey through this week, hold the space of connecting to your ancestral protection and light and guidance, and give yourself permission to stay in the wisdom of thinking about what you want, not what you don't want. Today, open yourself to divine inspiration, embracing your divine truth, accepting that our life is God's life. Thank you, Dominique. Have a smiley, Miles, and the 1580 KBLA family. Have an unapologetically mindful, blessed week. Embracing truth, accepting your life is God's life.
If you want to go a little deeper with a reading, a sound bath, a yoga class, or some life coaching, I might need to do that myself, you can call Saharah's assistant at 213-628-9783 and make an appointment, 213-628-9783. Or you can go to SaharahAli.com, SaharahAli.com, SaharahAli.com. Saharah, thanks for getting our week off to a great balanced and focused start. Certainly, it's the best thing you can do on a Monday to sustain you in the week ahead. It is the perfect time to call me now, 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580, whatever your mission, whatever your issue. It's a moment to call me. The phone lines are open, 800-920-1580. And I'm so excited as we celebrate 50 years of hip-hop to be welcoming in our final hour today, Father Amdi of the Watts Prophets. certainly foundational wordsmiths, activists, and poets in this hip-hop journey, and we'll hear his perspective on that. Also want to let you know that today's show is brought to you by Wealth Management Financial Advisors. Get up to date on your taxes, find small business loans, or modify your mortgage. Call today at 562-427-8877, Wealth Management Financial Advisors. I'm Dominique DePrima. You know where you are. It's First Things First on KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SavedByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SavedByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SavedByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Need help with the job hunt? It can be challenging, but don't worry. LA County has your back. With a variety of available support services, you'll get the help you need while finding a job. We're here to help you succeed. Let's get started. Find out if you qualify at recovery.lacounty.gov/programs. That's recovery.lacounty.gov/programs. LA County and you, moving forward together.
Moments like my daughter telling me a new joke mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that is spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib.
Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for adults with HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DePrima on First Things First.
Oh, my goodness, it sure does. The conversation never stops, and you are part of it. 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. So, yes, celebrating 50 years of hip-hop. Did you guys watch the New York, I guess it was a stream. It wasn't really a TV show. Yankee Stadium show. It was interesting. I didn't see the whole thing, but I'm going to keep watching it because it's on YouTube. You know, just hip-hop legends. Kool Herc was there, and a lot of different artists performed there. I was in Oakland at the Oakland Museum of California. They hosted the Bay Area Hip-Hop Archives event where they inducted, meaning they're going to preserve the recordings, or in my case, video, or it might be posters from their events, any kind of memorabilia. Really, it's really archival proof that we existed. It's the impact of our footprint, Black people, but also Latino people and others who were there in the early days and created this movement. And it's, we're going to keep talking about it here because I'm learning so much just talking to people about the perspectives about when hip-hop started on the West Coast, what constitutes it, what led to it, and on the East Coast, and how they impacted each other and which contributions came from where. That thing was a bit of, it was like to me, it was like a West Coast family reunion. Not a lot of performances or anything like that, but just a chance to, to see some people. Lenny Williams was there, Capital Tax, Deuce Eclipse, of course, Digital Underground, Lenny B and Fuse. It was nice to see them. Oaktown 357, great to see them. Boots Riley, Paris, the Black Panther of hip hop, just a lot of folks. In fact, I got some pictures up and am going to have more coming up that I got to post on Instagram. I got some stuff on Twitter too. So crazy that Magoo makes his transition, the rapper, who worked all those years with Timbaland, passes away at the age of 50 as hip-hop turns 50. It's weird to me that so many artists, hip-hop artists, have gone. I mean, I was just reflecting back, and there's a lot of young rappers getting killed in these streets, but there's a lot of, the original generation that are, or the next generation after that are already gone, and it's just so weird. I'm thinking about, of course, Eazy-E and Tupac, but they did a tribute to Biz Markie at the Yankee Stadium event, and thinking about people that I met and talked to, and I mean, it's different with Eazy and Tupac because I actually knew them, but I interviewed Biz Markie. I've interviewed Heavy D. I didn't really know him. It's just Shock G is another who actually knew him. It's weird. Those are my contemporaries. For them to be leaving the building, it's really sad. And for me, it's a reminder that we do have to give folks their flowers and celebrate, but also document, right? So that's why I think this idea, these celebrations of hip hop, even just the actual events themselves, remind people who did what and why they were important. Sugar T was there, as I said. I don't know. Me and POTUS were trying to figure out who was the very first female artist to record on the West Coast as a rapper, but we think it was Sugar T, which would make her the OG's OG on the female side of things. And I think it's worth noting, especially when you talk about cultural appropriation and this idea of black erasure. And I understand, I think Luis Rodriguez was on the show last week, and if you missed that, you can catch it wherever you get your podcast. I mean, all of the shows that we do, almost all of them are podcast, and you can find them for a time on our website, KBLA1580.com. You can find them forever on our app, which is also KBLA 1580, and it's free wherever you get apps. And I'd love it if you would get it, put it on your phone, because you can listen to us anywhere in the world, but also you can track those conversations. And then wherever you get your podcast, just type in KBLA Dominique DePrima or Dominique DePrima and the person like Luis Rodriguez. We were talking about the origins of rap and how, and hip-hop as a culture, not just rap, the guy or the woman on the mic, but, fashion and art and dance and language. I mean, it's really a transformative cultural movement. If you look at the way we talk, people that don't even, it's crazy. One of the white supremacists who was sentenced over the weekend, a former cop, Chicago cop, who was sentenced for January 6th, even the way he's talking, he's incorporating hip-hop slang into his language, and it's like you don't even know where this comes from. But America would look, sound, move and style themselves far differently if it wasn't for hip-hop, right? And that movement. And so I understand the FBA, the ADOS, the black MAGA guys, the Tariq Nasheed black MAGA guys, making a stand as far as black people and our towering influence and creative invention of hip-hop. But I think Luisa's point is a fair one, which is that there have always been other people there too. Notably in New York, the Puerto Ricans and the whole lowrider culture of the West Coast with the cruising culture, all of that being part of that hip-hop movement, not to mention the DJs and dancers and stuff. I mean, I wasn't there when DJ Kool Herc had his party, but I've, been around the scene for a long time, and I've always seen lots of different people as DJs, as spray can artists, as dancers. In the beginning, not so much as rappers, but there were some, but not so much. But in every other aspect of the culture, most definitely and innovatively. And to me, leaving that out is not good either. It's not really fair. Although, I agree that it is primarily a black art form, and the fact that we are now in a place where we could actually be erased is troubling. And so I think that all of these celebrations are important. It helps people remember. It helps them know if they didn't know, or if they knew and they were trying to erase it. It makes it a little harder. And I feel like one of the things that's always been so strong about hip-hop is that many generations do recognize the originators. Now you have conversations, so-and-so couldn't hang today, Tupac couldn't hang today, Biggie couldn't hang today. Well, that may be, but what's going on today couldn't exist without what came before it. You're building on a thing. You didn't pop out of the ground like a mushroom. You're building on a catalog that came before you. And so that's been one of the things I love about hip-hop is usually the younger generations go out of their way to understand the lineage and pay tribute. Even if that tribute is trying to say I'm better than, or we today are better than, you still know who you're trying to say you're better than. And we could use a little more of that in other areas of life. So anyways, I didn't set out to spend that much time talking about it, but I found myself really moved by a lot of the tributes and a lot of the conversations that are going on about the origins of hip-hop. And I'm getting a lot of flashbacks. I think I'm not a person that says, when I did the show Home Turf, blah, blah, back in the day, back in the 80s, and, before 106 in Park. I'm saying it now because all these things are coming back to me, and because when I was in the Bay Area for the Bay Area Hip Hop Archives, so many people were coming up to me, oh my gosh, it's great to see you. You represented, my youth or our youth, or you put my group on for the first time, or other people that we saw on the show inspired us to get into the business, or can I get the tape of when I was on your show back in 1989 or whatever it might be. And that really meant a lot to me. I felt bad because people didn't know where I was, KBLA 1580, and that I'm still on the mic, but I was happy for the love, really grateful for that love. The Bay Area remembers, and sounds like Game of Thrones, the North remembers. The Bay Area remembers. LA's that way too, by the way. I love that. Some people are complaining about how the pioneers don't get their props, and the newcomers get rich while the OGs, are broke. And my saying, and this is my saying about that to myself, which I'm sharing on the radio for the first time because I was telling a friend in the Bay, the streets remember, the streets know, and that I'm sure of. Because everywhere I go, the people in the community know the history. They know who's been there and who's not, and who's done what and who's taking credit for what they don't deserve. And to me, that's important. The streets know. Your legacy is with the people. For me, I'm not saying I don't want to be a millionaire or a billionaire. I'll take it, but I'm not a person who's going to be bitter, because what's next? It's like, yay, thank you for 50 years of hip-hop. Now what are we doing? What's the next show? What's the next interview? What's the next opportunity? Let's focus on what we want, on the possibilities, and not what we don't want. And that's why, I'm forever grateful and not bitter. I'm grateful to have had a place on the mic and be able to make that place in history, and really to be recognized on that level. It means a lot, but it's not, it's not whole life. So for those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, go to my YouTube channel. It's Deprima Radio, or Dominique B. Deprima. The B is for Baraka. That is on YouTube. And you can see some of the early clips from my show, Home Turf, which was a pioneering show created by John Fromer and Christina Metcalf, NBC affiliate in the Bay Area. Way back in the day. Not 50 years back, but not close. It's a great time to call me. KBLA, Talk 1580.
The station you turn to when you had it up to gear with cultural incompetence. KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. In Mississippi, a trial is set to begin tomorrow in Lincoln County for a father and son duo accused of shooting at a black FedEx driver back in 2022. Gregory Case and Brandon Case are both charged with attempted murder, conspiracy, and firing into an occupied vehicle driven by DeMontario Gibson. Court records show Gibson was then chased by the pair in their pickup truck. In Alabama, a 3-judge federal panel will hold a hearing in Birmingham today to determine if a new set of voting maps approved by the Republican majority in the Alabama legislature last month complies with a court order. The order instructed state lawmakers to create new congressional voting maps to include 2 majority black districts. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Hi, we're Comparion Insurance Agency. Never heard of us? We know. But to help it stick that our local agents are insurance experts, we're going to say local agent 3 times in the next 5 seconds. Local agents, local agents, local agents.
Find us at ComparionInsurance.com.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Dodgers are the hottest team in Major League Baseball. They pushed their winning streak to 8 in a row after sweeping Colorado. The Dodgers are 25 games over 500 and lead the Giants by 8.5 games in the NL West. Lakers guard Austin Reeves scored 11 points off the bench in USA Basketball's exhibition win over Spain. Reeves and the U.S. team are tuning up for the FIBA World Cup, which starts August 26 in Manila. A touching moment over the weekend during the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame ceremony in Springfield, Massachusetts. When former Lakers star Paul Gasol was making his acceptance speech, he fought back tears to say this line: "I wouldn't be here without you, brother." The reference was to Kobe Bryant. Gasol and Kobe played 7 seasons together with the Lakers and won 2 NBA championships. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio that's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
When you're young, life is full of choices. Don't let opioids like highly addictive and deadly fentanyl take away your life with just one wrong pill. Addiction is a disease that can affect anyone at any age. But there is a choice to get help for this disease. Find medically proven treatment options, including virtual, at choosemat.org.
MC Light for AARP Hip Hop The cultural phenomenon that took New York by storm in 1973 is celebrating 50 years of rocking mics and crowds. Whether you're a ride-or-die hip-hop head or simply curious about its origins, check out the latest issue of AARP, the magazine. It celebrates this incredible milestone with a featured story brimming with fun hip-hop facts and history. Head over to aarp.org/black community to learn more.
Community is more than where you live. It's the people in it who go above and beyond to help it thrive. During the 50th anniversary of hip-hop and the 75th anniversary of Black radio, AARP recognizes the members, volunteers, people, and partners giving back to our communities. We believe when our efforts drive change for the greater good, we all thrive together. To learn more about how AARP supports efforts to keep our communities thriving, visit aarp.org/black community.
Be ready for extreme heat in your area. On days when extreme heat is expected, take action to keep your home as cool as possible. Set your air conditioner to 78 degrees. If AC isn't available, close blinds and curtains on all windows and run fans counterclockwise. Or find your nearest cooling center. Transportation help may be available. Learn more at heatreadyca.com. Brought to you by the state of California.
Boldly go where no man has gone before.
Boldly taking talk radio where it has never gone before. New vistas, new voices, new views, new visions, new victories. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we're taking public media black.
I don't believe it. KBLA Talk 1580. I don't believe it. If you're not following KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcast of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Got your black. I don't believe I'm the leader. Oh my God. I don't believe.
Broadcasting live from Leimert Park, USA. Welcome back to your home for unapologetically progressive radio. KBLA Talk 1580.
Indeed, and 800-920-1580. That's the number if you want to get in on this, 800-920-1580. A lot of good things going on amidst all the crazy. And for me, the celebrations, as I've said, of 50 years of hip-hop are among them. Giving people their flowers while they're here, remembering those who have gone before, and rest in peace to Magoo, which, man, I guess dramatic exit, right, in a sense of right when we're talking about 50 years, you're 50 years old, you are hip-hop, and you're out. Don't know what happened to that, brother, but I'm sure we will find out in the days and weeks ahead. Let's go to Dwight calling us from the city of Compton. Good morning, Dwight.
Good morning, Dominique, Hotep. Good morning to all the hard-working postal workers out there. And I thank Tavis, I thank Miles, I thank you and all the great hosts there at KBLA for giving us so much information. And Dominique, you're so right about how the world takes the blessings that black people gives it and then tries to eliminate or deny where it came from. And that started way back when Africa civilized Greece and civilized Rome, and then eventually Rome comes back to attack the very foundation that they got their civilization from. And when the Moors brought Europe out of the Dark Ages, they used to teach us about the Dark Ages in school, but they never told us how Europe came out of the Dark Ages. The black African Muslim Moors ruled Spain, and which was up to Portuguese and France. It was a much bigger area than just Spain. And for 800 years, black Moors brought Europe out of the Dark Ages. And then what does Europe do? Turns around and attacks the Moors and drive them back across the Mediterranean Sea to Morocco. So And when you stop at a stoplight, that was a black man that invented the stop. When you
he went from the Moors to the stoplight. He went from the Moors to the stoplight in one sentence.
Yeah, I mean it's a continual thing that's been going on. It's been going on, and when the fire department puts on their gas mask, it was a black man that invented the gas mask. And there's so many other great things that black people have done, and then they turn around like the word woke. Yeah, being awoke. What's the opposite of being woke or being aware? Being aware is to be asleep. And now DeSantis uses our word against us to try to make it into a negative when you got to be aware of what's going on. So white supremacy, when they take your vote away from you, when they take women's abortion health care away from them, when they try to block college loan relief, but turn around and give billionaires a $2 trillion tax break. Never mention that about the deficit, you know. Yeah, when it comes to them getting something, it's cool. When we get any little crumb of bread, it's a big negative deal, you know. But Dominique, you're so right. We just got to give credit to turning that all the way back around to hip-hop. You know, who knows in the future they'll try to say that somebody else invented hip-hop.
It's already happening. It's already happening, Dwight. It's already happening.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's, you know, you take your place at the table, but don't, you know, take credit for the part in history, but don't try to make it all you, because that's not right. And really, it goes all the way back to Africa. To your point, even hip-hop, you know, right? The call and response, the syncopation, the use of the word, spoken word to tell our stories, report our news, remember our history, the griots of you know, ancient Africa. All of that, I mean, you can go all the way. That's why I'm so tickled to have Father Amdi on next hour, you know, because we can trace hip-hop a lot of different ways. And I understand, you know, that everyone has agreed that Kool Herc and his sister throwing that party is the origins. Some West Coast folks have a different history, but it's fine. We can trace it to that. But let's not be erased or allow ourselves to be erased from the culture that we create.
If the main ingredient, if the main ingredient of the cake is flour, okay, you put in a little cinnamon, you put in a little nutmeg or whatever to make the cake. Give it a little extra flavor, but we were the eggs and the flowers and the milk. You know, you can't say that your part. You know, you're gonna leave that out. You ain't gonna have no cake. You leave us out. You ain't gonna have no civilization if you leave black people out. You know, but Dominique, I love the information you give us, and let's always give credit where credit is due. You know, don't be the kid that went away to college and now you too good because your mother doesn't use proper English, but she scrubbed floors to send you to college.
We're going to call that AVE, not improper English. We're going to call it AVE, African American Vernacular English. And you went ahead and learned that standard American English. Now you think you're better. That's the illusion of inclusion that Paul Mooney used to always talk about, which very deadly. Very deadly, because people, you know, they think they're in, and then they find out, oh, wait, I'm still black, usually when it's too late. But look, I mean, you made a lot of good points. And I think it's very important for us to constantly remember that our history doesn't begin with our enslavement as people of African descent, visibly, phenotypically black people, because we know everybody's of African descent. The entire planet is, you know, descended from the motherland. But when we talk about black in today's context, we're talking about a social construct that's meant to keep us in our so-called place. And, you know, that's why it's important to point out our history doesn't start with our enslavement. Our history starts thousands of years earlier, you know, in ancient Kemet and, you know, Nubian Africa, of the early origins of civilization, the origins of mathematics and medicine and architecture. And it's not, you know, this dumb idea about a black supremacist. It's not about black supremacists. It's about honest history that actually gives a full timeline, and as you say, gives credit where credit is due. That's why I'm not trying to write Asian people, Asian Americans. I'm not trying to write Filipinos and Puerto Ricans and, you know, the Chicano low-riding culture out of hip-hop. All of that has been there and is part of that original cake, to use your analogy, Dwight. I don't think we're trying to erase anybody. At least I'm not. I'm not. All of that adds flavor and richness and depth and dimension to these stories of culture and creativity. I'm not trying to do that, and that's my objection with the whole, Black MAGA FBA narrative. They have to erase everyone else. We don't need to do that. Our footprint, our creative genius, our melanated, creativity is big enough. We don't have to erase anybody. That's their jam. I'm not trying to become my oppressor. And so when they make up dumb terms like black supremacy, or what's the other one, that black identity extremist, it's just BS. It's just something made up to try to make us even a greater threat than we are. So to me, when those FBA MAGA people play into that BS, and it may be intentional because that is really part of the Trump army, they legitimize the targeting of our communities with dumb terms like black, dumb made-up terms like black identity extremism, which is not a thing. The primary threat, we don't go around killing people because of a made-up social construct. That's y'all. That's y'all, the white supremacists who are delusional in that sense. That's not our jam. So I don't condone anything that bolsters that false narrative about us being the problem, us being the threat, us being, although LeGrand Clegg says that the Europeans are mad at us in their DNA for exactly what you said, Dwight, those years of Moorish colonization, because make no mistake, that was the colonizing of Europe by black people. Y'all still mad? That's what LeGrand Clegg says. What do you think? 800-920-1580. I love this show because I always have a list of topics and all these things that we're going to talk about, and then we get to talking about whatever's top of mind, and that's the beauty of this, reciprocity, engagement. Your creativity is part of the mix. 800-920-1580. I'm Dominique DeFrima for KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DeFrima when we come forward.
Mom's early Alzheimer's diagnosis was hard to take. And when I left the oven on, we decided together that it was time to see a doctor and make a plan. Early detection gave us more time to seek out information and support as a family.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. For more information, visit alz.org/time-to-talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Hey, I am Jasmine Carson, LSU Women's Basketball National Champion. I had to up my game, and this time I upped my intimate grooming routine too. Venus for Pubic Hair and Skin is the only razor and regimen specifically designed for your pubic area. Featuring a razor with a patented irritation defense bar and a skincare regimen that is dermatologist tested, Venus helps protect your pubic skin from shave irritation. Visit GilletteVenus.com to learn more about the full regimen of products.
For all of us, this generation and the next, there is simply no place in our lives for litter. And yet, it's everywhere we look. And unfortunately, it does belong to all of us. So, let's come together and create a litter-free, clean California, once and for all. Remember to properly dispose of your trash and recycling. Secure truckloads with tarps to keep debris from flying out. Clean out your car when you're at a gas station. Take pride in your community by organizing a cleanup event. Or join a cleanup event near you. Zero litter is the goal. Join us at cleanca.com. That's cleanca.com. Let's do it. Together. Brought to you by Caltrans. cleanca.com.
I'm David Goldberg.
a bilingual elementary school teacher, and president of the California Teachers Association. As we start a new school year, there's something new happening in California's public schools. They're called community schools, where families, students, educators, and communities are making decisions as one.
As a parent, I feel like we're really valued as partners in the education system.
Community schools are bridging the systems of academics with the community.
The curriculum is designed around the students and their academic needs.
I know community schools are working. We see it in parent involvement. We see it in student academics.
We saw double-digit gains in math, English, and reading scores.
It's a more innovative, holistic approach to educating students.
I really feel like this is the first time that we're really seeing a system change in our school.
It's innovative, fresh,
and they're already working.
We invite you to learn more about community schools as we come together to reimagine public education here in California. And that's why CTA brought you this message.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DePrima right now.
Right now, I want to say rest in peace to Clarence Avant, the black, they called him the black godfather of the recording industry, making his transition at the age of 92. Really good documentary about him on Netflix, which makes sense since his daughter is married to CEO of Netflix. But Clarence Avant had just such a huge impact on the music business, the business of music. That's why they call him the Black Godfather. His wife, of course, Jackie Avant, was shot a couple of years ago in their home in Beverly Hills. A real horrifying tragedy, and he follows her now at the age of 92. I'm sure Tavis Smiley will probably have a lot to say about it and possibly an interview. I only met Mr. Avant one time when he attended a fundraiser that I did here in Los Angeles for my brother, Raz Baraka, when he was running to be mayor of Newark, which he is currently mayor of Newark. And I had put together a fundraiser to help him get into office, which was kind of one of my dad's wishes on his deathbed. Y'all get everybody, all the kids get together, support your brother Raz Baraka, which we all supported him just because him and my brother Mitty, his chief of staff, are truly brilliant in the work that they're doing. But I didn't know Mr. Avant personally, so when he showed up to that fundraiser, I was pretty stunned. Him and his wife were there, and she took me to the side, gave me some great advice about how to do the fundraiser, which I immediately took. I met Mr. Avant. He seemed very nice. They were humble and unassuming, and they did make a contribution to my brother's campaign when he was running for office at that time. It's the only time that I had the honor, the pleasure of meeting him. But this is somebody who, went from the poorest of the poor as a black man to being one of the most influential business executives in America of any race. And so, rest in peace to Clarence Avant. I'm going to have my ears tuned in to Tavis Smiley's show today for sure to hear what he has to say about it. And he's there. He's got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Got that in 2016. So if y'all want to go, pay tribute, that would be a great place to do so. And I know so many people who have had their break or gotten crucial advice from Clarence Avant over the years, or been helped in their careers in substantial ways by Mr. Avant, will have a lot to say about him, his life, and his passing today. So rest in peace to Mr. Avant. Let's go to Howard calling us from Watts. Good morning, Howard.
Oh, good morning, Dominique. Thanks for taking my call. All I got to say this morning is Ohio. They really, I think they hope to set a trend for the next election. A lot of people voted down that proposition they had, and that was a good thing. So I'm really enthused about Ohio. and there's I met a lot of beautiful people come out of Ohio too. They're very conscious, and there are a lot of conscious people. So I just want to give a praise out to Ohio what they did last week with the voting thing.
Yeah, they kind of had a Georgia moment. You're talking about the issue 1, which was voted down overwhelmingly by voters, which was really meant to make it more difficult to protect a woman's right to choose. And it was being closely watched nationally by Republicans. It's been a bit, I think, from what I'm hearing and reading, it's been a bit of a wake-up call for the GOP in terms of how far they can really go, at least in an election year. Well, I expect them to be back, and you know, they're still continuously trying to take away our rights. But this was definitely a setback for that movement and a warning shot for the 2024 election. So I think you're right, Howard. We owe Ohio a debt of gratitude. Of course, everybody's on indictment watch today as we wait for Georgia, you know, the grand jury there to take a look at the charges and, the, you know, what's coming down the pipe, not just for the former president, but also for whoever else may be charged in that election interference. And it looks like Fani Willis has got some serious receipts. So all that's coming down today as Fani Willis seeks those indictments for he who shall not be named. You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
The quiet part out loud. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, I'm Ray Richardson, your sports connection here at KBLA Talk 1580. Join me and my co-host Neil Scarborough every Saturday night at 7 for Out of Bounds, the show that brings some flavor to the world of sports for 60 minutes. We take you beyond the scores and press conferences. We give you our point of view, the way black folks see what's going down. You can join the conversation and give us your analysis at 1-800-920-1580. Out of Bounds, every Saturday night at 7 on KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
You like the style, bro?
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where hate meets a scholarly match.
Right, so Fani Willis has been working on, you know, this investigation of the interference into the election in Georgia for 2 years now. And we know that it's a racketeering case, which means there's probably a lot of individuals, at least several in the inner circle of the former president who may be charged. And despite the attacks, and it's like junior high school only with, you know, with power, right, and money. Trump accusing her of sleeping with gang members and, you know, just really stop. But anyway, she's withstanding the racist threats and the attacks, and all of the security measures are in place right now. So we expect her to seek charges against former president and others this week. And it sounds like as we get a drip, drip, drip of facts and paperwork coming out, that this is possibly the most threatening case against the former president, although that's saying a lot based on what we've seen in the other 3 criminal indictments against the former president. It just sounds crazy coming out of my mouth, right? And that's not even counting the civil case still circulating from E. Jean Carroll. And honestly, there should be many more civil cases based on the number of sexual abuse claims against the former president. But everybody's on alert. We don't know what charges are coming down. We don't know exactly who else will be caught up, but we know it's getting real this week, and we know that the former president is scared because he has stepped up his attacks, and not just him personally, but his surrogates. As the judge in the documents case has told him he better watch what he's saying, he now has surrogates, the Ted Cruzes of the world, saying the things that he wants to say. And I wonder how you can stop that. I mean, that seems, it doesn't seem mysterious. It seems pretty obvious what's going on. I wonder how that can be stopped. I did hear on Joy Reid's show last night that the judge in the documents case, rather than trying to continue to muzzle the former president, which may be impossible, she may just move the date up for the trial so that he could end up in court a lot sooner than he wants to, a lot less prepared than he wants to. But I think that would be a brilliant move because nothing would shut him up faster than getting the trial over with. And we are, as I said, expecting another criminal indictment. It will be his 4th this week, so we'll keep our eyes on that. Looking forward, though, to our daily deep dive today. Father Amdi of the Watts Prophets joins us live on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. In Mississippi, a trial is set to begin tomorrow in Lincoln County for a father and son duo accused of shooting at a